I really got to get back to uploading on this channel, man. I need to get back into things. I've been playing that Dragon Quest game on Twitch and just been really hooked on that game. So I got to get back into reviewing media for you guys because that's what World of Geekdom is. So I want to talk a little bit about AEW today, and I want to talk about like how much AEW has improved in the past few months. You know, I would say ever since maybe the summer of last year, AEW has really turned things around. You know, there was a big creative slump, I feel, that happened after CM Punk left. I think a lot of the inner workings and problems of AEW got exposed. I think Tony Khan was kind of slowly having these, this slow meltdown where he was having these crash outs and like going at WWE. And then while that was going on, WWE started to slowly improve under Triple H with Vince McMahon being out, and the Bloodline story was hot. Cody's story was hot. The Judgment Day with Dominic and Rhea Ripley and that whole thing was hot. But now the tables have turned. WWE has been, quite frankly, slop for a while. Not every show is bad. It's not that the shows are like horrible. You're going to get some good matches and some fun angles, but the storylines aren't connecting right now, at least with me. Not to mention that the price gouging has gotten completely out of hand, which I may do a whole video on this because I feel like it needs to be talked about. But I want to focus on AEW. AEW Dynamite has definitely improved. I think that while the show does still lean more in a wrestling heavy focus, which I've said before that angles are more important, I think that Dynamite has been a lot more balanced out lately. I'm not sure if Tony Khan is still booking with Bryan Danielson and he has a small team that he works with, right? But I think the shows have become a lot more balanced now. I think that the promo segments they've done have been really good. Swerve Strickland has become like the MVP. You know, they talked about the four pillars, right? And the four pillars were Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, MJF, and Jack Perry, Jungle Boy. And some threw Britt Baker in there. I don't think those are the four pillars. I feel like the four pillars of AEW now, and probably for the foreseeable future, would be Hangman Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, MJF, and probably Will Ospreay. He's injured, but I would put him in that category as well. There's a few other people, but if you don't want to put Will Ospreay in, I think Toni Storm for certain, because Toni Storm is the most entertaining women's wrestler maybe in the entire industry right now. I mean, if somebody were to tell me that that's their favorite act in wrestling, I couldn't even like argue because it's tremendous. Like, it really is tremendous. She's tremendous. So, every segment she's in, she elevates it. Swerve Strickland, like ever since his 2024 like title run, I have loved. I mean, I liked him before then, but I mean, he's been tremendous. And the heel turn, the promo he cut on Dynamite last night was great. I like that Kenny Omega is like, I feel bad for Kenny, and I think they should still give him that babyface title run that I talked about in a previous video. But Kenny Omega, the fact that he's kind of taking a bit more time off and not destroying his body. The match he had with Swerve was like crazy for a TV match. And I'm sure when he comes back and they continue that feud, they're going to have some great pay-per-view matches. So the angles they've done on the show, like MJF and the quarter and how he was trying to trick Hangman, like the thing I like about the Hangman MJF dynamic is that Hangman Adam Page, putting aside the way you may feel about how he behaved during the CM Punk thing, that's definitely something that he got slack for, and rightfully so, I feel, because Tony should have been a better leader in that instance, but there's no sense in talking about that now. As a performer, I think Hangman's the complete package. He has good matches. He has good matches every single time he goes out there, and phenomenal matches on pay-per-view. But he never gets into that like Dave Meltzer's favorites category, like Okada, Ospreay, Kenny, and maybe even Kyle Fletcher, who I could see being one of the pillars and being slotted into the main event scene sometime soon. The stuff with Kyle Fletcher and Okada has been great, But with MJF and Hangman Page, you've got a situation where Adam Page is a tremendous babyface, great babyface talker, and you've got MJF, who is the consummate bad guy, the most evil guy in the company. He's the world champion. He'll do anything to win. Arrogance personified. I mean, that's him. And they set up this match at Revolution with Hangman and MJF. And it seems like they're going in the direction that Hangman's going to win. Although there are other ways to tell that story. AEW doing the Cody Rhodes 2019 stipulation where he can't challenge for the title ever again wound up being an issue later on. So Hangman losing this is not a good idea if AEW wants to keep that that honesty with the fans, with their stipulations actually meaning something, which I think is something they have ahead of WWE. They really do. So whenever Hangman and MJF do promos with each other or they're in the ring, I do like their chemistry. I think it's tremendous, and I'm enjoying that storyline. I'm enjoying the stuff with Kyle Fletcher and Okada. And, I'm also enjoying the Babes of Wrath. I was somebody who did not jump on the Willow Nightingale train because she kind of came off a little bit like Bayley. And I liked Bayley during that hugger era, but I don't know, Willow just, I was never really, it's not she was a bad wrestler. I just never really saw her as being as great as she is now in this tag team with Harley Cameron. I love Harley Cameron. Harley Cameron is so talented. I mean, she can do the puppets. She can sing, play guitar. She's a great wrestler. Harley Cameron is tremendous. And I do feel like Harley Cameron is someone who I think they should look at for something bigger in the future. She's somebody that kind of reminds me of Chelsea Green in a way because she can be slotted anywhere in the card. She doesn't have to be at the top, but I really like what she's doing with Willow right now, and that tag team division is doing better than I thought. And clearly AEW agrees because I feel like the Babes of Wrath get TV time almost every week. Some wrestlers don't, but they usually are slotted somewhere every week. So clearly AEW thinks that the act is working, and I think that it is as well. I am still critical of AEW having too many belts, but so does WWE, and so does New Japan. I mean, I've talked about that in previous videos. I did a whole video about how wrestling companies have way too many championships. And they don't mean anything. And I do think AEW has that problem. But when you've got an act like the Babes of Wrath in the tag team division, the booking, I think, has been healthy. I think they've done a great job of using them and not playing them out just yet. So I got to give credit. I mean, I have to give credit. Dynamite's a more enjoyable show. Excalibur is still not the best commentator, but they definitely, it's the show's improved so much, and their pay-per-views have always been, a knockout, and their ticket prices are a bit more affordable in this economy, which is good. You're never gonna go wrong with a AEW pay-per-view, but like I've said before, the television was lacking, and I do still think, I'm gonna say this as well, I do still think that they could probably shave a few minutes of wrestling and focus more on angles, but right now they've kind of found this happy balance, you know what I mean? Also, John Moxley is a guy who went from having go away heat with me in 2023 and 2024, 2025 really. That Death Riders angle was painful for the majority of it until the very end. Now he's kind of found a nice little niche where he can be a little bit more goofy and not take himself so seriously. And he's a babyface now. And the whole group is sort of like tweeners, honestly. They're kind of like tweeners, but they've, it's improved. I really liked Mox's I guess you can say the way he reacted to Wheeler Yuta getting his hair cut, that whole segment, he was funny. And this is kind of what I wanted to see out of him, is he shouldn't take himself so seriously. He's already been AEW champion 4 or 5 times. I think it's 4 times. Start putting some people over. You know what I mean? He's not that old. Obviously, he's not, but he's definitely been with the company a long time. And if he's going to keep being in there, and it's good that he put Darby Allin over, like that was a good thing that he did that, you know. And I'm sure he'll do, and Hangman Page, I'm sure he'll do more of that this year. But no, Dynamite has improved a lot. And those of you who have not watched it, I'm not saying every episode's going to be killer, but check it out. Like, it's really gotten better. I still don't have time to watch Collision. There's other things going on, and it does feel like a B show, although some people have really enjoyed that show as well. It does feel like a B show to me. But nevertheless, Dynamite, which is their first original show, has improved a lot, and I got to give it to Tony Khan and AEW. I'm not going to BS you guys. When they were sucking, I was critical of his behavior. He's not having meltdowns anymore, attacking WWE like he used to do. He's kind of doing his own thing. And yeah, WWE has fallen off. And it sucks that we can't get like both companies to be great at once. I really wish that. Seems like whenever one gets hot, the other one starts to cool off. I wish it wasn't like that, but I wish they were both good in different ways. But he's also, I feel like Tony Khan's grown up a lot. You know, he's only a year older than me. He's not that old, but like it feels like being the owner of this company has taught him a lot about the, you know, just how human beings are. And you know, he's had to face some challenges, and I feel like, you know, the TV itself is improving. So whoever's helping him and whatever epiphany he had, I'm glad it happened because it's improved. I'm not going to say it feels like 2019, but it definitely feels like a breath of fresh air compared to how it was for the last few years. So those are my thoughts. What do you think? Do you agree? Let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to y'all soon. I'm not gonna be gone for that long. All right. So I'm gonna try my best to upload more. I might do some speakdoms as well. So we'll see. Take care though. Have a good one.